You're listening to Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum. It's almost Halloween, guys. You're listening to Inside of You. Ryan is here.
Yes.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for making me part of your day. I hope you're having a glorious week. Please spread the word on the podcast. Subscribe if you're here for Ken Marino and you just want to listen to Ken. Maybe you'll stick around, subscribe. That'd make me happy. You could follow us at Inside of You Podcast on Facebook and Instagram, at Inside of You Pod on the Twitter, which is right here, and very exciting. I will be in Denver October 30th and 31st doing a convention with Tom Welling signing autographs. I hope you will be there in Denver, Colorado, October 30th and 31st. Join me. A big shout out to my patrons who I couldn't do this podcast without. If you want to give to the podcast a little more, keep us afloat, go to patreon.com/insideofyou. I hope you're enjoying the podcast. Ryan, did you have a good week? You went to a wedding?
I did. I went to a wedding. So my friends from college finally tied the knot. They've been together for a very long time. And
did you cry?
I did.
You did?
Yeah. During the toasts, the parents.
Did you toast?
No, I didn't toast. No. But no, the parents' speeches kind of got me because you sort of think about time.
My parents, if they spoke, I'd throw up.
Yeah.
I'd probably throw up. I don't think I'd last very long. Great guest today, Ken Marino. You know him from, he's on a show called The Other Two. Very funny guy. Wet Hot American Summer, Party Down, Burning Love. He's been in so many things. You're going to recognize this guy, but he's got a lot to say, and I really loved him as a guest. Very open, very funny. Ryan?
So funny. One of the funniest people on the planet.
He is really one of the funniest people on the planet. So without further ado, why don't we just get into it? Let's get inside of Ken Marino.
It's my point of view. You're listening to Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum.
Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum was not recorded in front of a live studio audience.
You brought over some treats today.
I brought over some treats, yeah. I brought you some coffee.
I've never had a guest bring me anything. This is the truth. I've never had a guest actually, you're like, hey, can I pick you up a coffee?
Well, that's surprising to me.
It is.
Because from the shows I've listened to, a lot of the people, have people come over recently? Or have you been doing a lot of...
We had your good buddy Joe Latruglio.
And he was here?
He was here.
And he didn't bring anything?
He did not bring me anything.
All right, I'll make sure to let him know.
You should, thank you.
Yeah, no, I'll hold that over his head forever.
I've had some guests here. Really nice guest, Jennifer Love Hewitt, who she didn't bring me anything, but she's always very thoughtful. She's actually gotten me some guests before. Maybe you could do the same after.
Whatever you need. I'm
really?
here for you.
You're a full service.
I mean, not full service, but yeah, I can get you some guests.
You can?
If you'd like, I can certainly ask them.
Certainly like that. We always like funny people here.
Well, then I'll see if I can, wrangle up some funny people.
That would be good.
Yeah.
So your wife, explain this. I have a
wife,
these.
yeah.
You have a wife.
Yeah.
You have two kids.
What? I mean, how much explaining do you need there?
I don't need more than that.
Okay.
But I will say that your wife, you had all these old TV guides. We're talking 70s, 80s that you've been collecting since you were young.
Well, I collected them when I was young, and then they were just sitting in my mother's basement. And then she said, hey, get this shit out of my basement. And
your wife?
No, my mother.
Your mother said, get this shit out of my basement.
Yeah. So then I said, well, just send it to me across cross country. So then she mailed what were hundreds of TV guides from the 70s and 80s to my home.
Right.
At which point my wife was like, what are these? And I said, oh, they're TV guides from the 70s and 80s. And she said, what is this shit doing here? Get this shit out of here. So I immediately put them in a suitcase and hid them in the garage. Because in my head, I feel like I'm going to do something. I'm going to do something with them someday. Saying it out loud.
What are you going to do with them?
I sort of understand where my wife is.
What were you
from.
thinking of doing? Like, what did you think they're going to be worth something someday?
I don't know. I just collected. When I was younger, I collected Mad magazines and TV guides, and I always enjoyed the TV guides. Especially, I was telling you this before, like the fall preview ones where it was like special and they were like colors. The whole front of it was all color printout because usually they were in black and white. But then in the front where they usually do interviews, it was all colored printouts of the new shows. And then in the back, or in the front, it was the shows that were returning. And then in the back, it was all the new shows that were happening. And it was great. And you could see young, prepubescent, Jason Bateman in a TV show that you'd never heard of.
Look at these.
Yeah.
Laverne and Shirley. You said,
Shlomo.
so you go around and you bring them when you see your friends and you say, pick one.
Now I thought, well, maybe the reason I've been holding on to them is to share them with friends, my peers, people my age or people around my age
who appreciate them,
who have a nostalgic kind of feeling about them, because nowadays TV Guide doesn't exist anymore. Not like that.
Right.
You didn't look forward to getting the TV Guide every week to look at it and look what was, on the 4 channels.
Right.
It's different now.
It was exciting.
It was exciting. I mean, to me, it was exciting.
And your wife said, get this shit out of here. So ultimately, you just get them out of my sight.
Look, my wife is wonderful. She just doesn't want me collecting a pile of old TV Guides from the 70s and 80s, which, makes a lot of sense.
Well, this also indirectly affects me.
Why?
Or directly affects me.
How is it directly
Because as you can look around my house, you notice I have a lot of things that I collect. Now I have Fangoria magazines, and I have now some TV Guides.
Yeah.
Yes. I have posters. So I feel like if I were married to your wife.
Well, if you were married to anybody, they'd be like, it's a lot.
It's a lot.
But you're a single guy, and so this is the coolest house I've ever seen, because it's just got like everything that everything. It has everything you love, and there's an overlap. There's a lot of things in here that I love, and so it's like I feel like I'm in a museum.
Well,
it's delightful.
Well, it scares me though.
Why are you scared?
It scares me because you're in your early 50s.
I am.
You look fantastic, by the way. You look the same as you did when I met you. We could talk about that in a minute. But I will say, it scares me that I'm single. I live alone. I'm 49. This is the same conversation I had when I was 39, probably when I was early 30. But now is it really funny?
What's the conversation?
Well, the conversation is it's like, I'm about to hit 50 in a year. I just turned 49.
Yeah.
What did you notice? Did you get depressed when you hit 50? When you woke up in the morning and you were 50 years old?
Yeah.
Did that affect you at all?
No.
It didn't.
No, but you made a left turn here. You were talking about it happened when you were 49, 50. Are you talking about like when it hit you? Like, because I thought we were talking about if you got married. I don't know when you're planning on
yes.
it. But would your significant other approve of this?
Yes, and then I say to myself, I made that left turn where I'm like, am I kidding myself? Am I actually going to ever get married, or am I going to be alone having this cool
I thought
shit?
you were like,
it's both, maybe.
Right.
And so it does scare me, and I'm like, age never really scared me until I was like, wait a minute, 50. You do think older.
I don't. I mean, I do a little bit, but I also realize that, like, the cliche, you're only as old as you feel, and age is just a number. Those cliches there's value to them for me, in that somebody made up that there's, based on the moon and the stars and the earth rotating, there's 365 days in the year. So, okay, that's great. And then every year, that's 1 year. And then the next year is another year. But like, none of that, who gives a shit? I'm just alive or I'm dead.
That's a really fascinating way to think about it.
Well, I'm 50, I'm 49, I'm 60, I'm 30. I feel, how people always say, I don't feel 50. I don't feel, like I'm 70 years old. I don't feel like I'm 40. Yeah, because
how do you feel?
Because it's a number. It means nothing.
How do you feel?
I feel great. I mean, things hurt. I'm going for a colonoscopy tomorrow. I'm going for a 3D image of my heart because I have high cholesterol on Thursday. But like, I exercise and I try to approach life in a healthy way for my mind and my body and my spirit or soul. But I feel shitty and depressed some days, and I feel great other days.
Inside of You is brought to you by Sonos. Don't go anywhere. Sonos is the best product out on the market right now. I've been using this for so many years. Sonos sound system. They're so innovative. They're always coming out with new things like the Roam, which I'll talk about. But I have music playing all around my house. I could play music in each room, different playlists in each room. I don't know what I would do without Sonos. Anybody who knows me knows that I have Sonos machines all over the house, and they don't take much space at all. They are so small. For instance, here's a Sonos device here. Look at this. And this speaker plays unbelievably clear, as loud as you want, music. And I'm so glad they're a sponsor, and they've got this new product, Roam, and you need to hear all about it. Sonos Roam is the ultra portable smart speaker that allows you to bring the Sonos experience everywhere you go. Roam weighs less than a pound, and its premium, durable design makes it perfect for the home and for on the go. And when you're at home, Roam connects to your Wi-Fi network and the rest of your Sonos system, and then automatically pairs with your phone on Bluetooth when you're on the go for a seamless experience. Using automatic True Play tuning, Roam smartly adapts to your surroundings and whatever you're listening to and creates sound that astonishingly detailed and perfectly balanced.
Control Roam using the app, Apple AirPlay 2, or your voice with Amazon Alexa or Google Assistant.
With Sonos, you can start with one speaker and expand your system over time, like I have. All Sonos speakers connect over Wi-Fi, so you can group speakers in different rooms and play music throughout your home. I love Sonos. If you don't have a Sonos machine, you're missing out. And all you have to do is go to Sonos, Sonos.com to learn more. Sonos.com to learn more. You will not be disappointed. Inside of You is brought to you by Geico. Ryan, what do you know about Geico?
I know that they have been around for a long time, and they offer some bundling policies.
That's true. Like we always talk about, you want to pay your renter's insurance, homeowner's insurance, along with your auto policy. You want to make life easier on yourselves. Guys, Geico is a trusted name around the world, and you can do all that easy with their bundling policies. Geico's bundling policy, they make it easy to bundle your homeowner's or renter's insurance along with your auto policy. We have too much going on around the house, too much time doing other things to worry about, paying all these places. So just do it with Geico. It's easy. You just go to geico.com. You get a quote. You see how much you can save. It's Geico easy. Visit geico.com today. That's geico.com. Inside of You is brought to you by M1 Finance. There's a reason they call M1 Finance the Finance Super App. This all-in-one app makes it easy as pie to invest, borrow, and spend exactly how you want. Build a portfolio of stocks or ETFs in minutes with their intuitive Pies interface, or use a pre-built expert pie that invests according to your goals. Investing involves risk, and M1 helps you invest according to your risk tolerance. Borrow against your portfolio with some of the lowest rates on the market, then use it however you want. Keep in mind, borrowing increases your risk and rates may vary. Or stash your cash in their free digital checking account. It's fast, it's easy, and it saves you tons of time, and time is money. Switch to a sleeker, easier, and better way to manage your money. Plus, get a $30 bonus to your M1 Invest account when you get approved and fund it with $1,000 within your first 14 days. Go to m1finance.com/insideofyou for more information. That's M as in Michael, the number 1, finance.com, m1finance.com. Terms and conditions apply. Colonoscopy. I will say that a lot of people say, oh my God, you got to get a colonoscopy. I had a wonderful experience. I really did.
When you say a wonderful experience,
I had this drink. They gave me these drinks.
Yeah.
Early evening, the night before.
Yep.
I peed out of my B.
Yeah.
And BP. And I went to bed. I woke up. I mean, it wasn't that intense. And they put me to sleep. And I said, Doc, I don't do drugs, but can I feel it for a few minutes? Can I feel the anesthesia or whatever? I felt great. And then I woke up, he said, you got no polyps, and I was done. And
Yeah.
that was it. So it was a great experience for me. I didn't, I got put to sleep. I got to feel good.
Well,
I
it
got
had a happy ending.
It had a happy ending. So
different type
I'm just
of
telling
happy
you don't have to worry if you're even worried at all.
I'm not. I had it one other time, and I had the same experience, except I wanted to stay awake for it and look and see what they were looking at.
Ooh.
And then he's like, well, we can't do that. And he said, he goes, you can do you could ask for something called twilight or something like that, where you're sort of in and you're sort of out. Like, you're not feeling but you're not asleep. And I was like, yeah, I want to do that. And he's like, okay. And then I went in and they gave it to me, and I immediately went out and I woke up and I was done.
No twilight.
No twilight.
Jeez. You and I met years ago. We were bowling. It was all your old buddies from the state.
Okay.
It was Tom Lennon and everybody, Joe.
Is this when you this is?
I was
Are you
running a
saying
house.
this is the first time that we've met? That we met, or is this just one of the memories
I think
of us?
that we met at around that time, and maybe we met in New York briefly.
I met you through Ballard.
Through Ballard, right? But we used to start hanging out because you guys used
At
to
your
come over
house.
and play poker at my little rented house
and play video
in
games.
Studio
You played
C.
Sega,
right?
and you played a lot of hockey.
Sega.
And at the time, you had hurt your back,
Yeah.
or somewhere in there, you had hurt
Mm-hmm.
your back from playing hockey. maybe?
And probably sports my whole life and a bunch of other shit.
And I remember that you had some back issues that you were
Dealing with.
suffering with.
Yeah. But I remember like you guys used to, you and Sarah Silverman, just name dropping here, and Michael Ian Black and Showalter, you used to come to my house and play poker, and you used to all take my money.
I can't imagine that I did, because I'm a terrible poker player. I
terrible.
just came for the camaraderie.
Really?
Yeah.
Because they took it really seriously.
Mike Black takes it very seriously. Joe is a good poker player. David Wayne, very
Yep.
good. Sarah, she's a very good poker player, but she's just in it to have fun, I think. But
Yeah.
she's real good too.
Although I went to her house years ago, she invited me to play poker, and I was so bad that she never invited me back. Or I just wasn't funny.
I don't think that's it.
It could be.
I've called her up and been like, "Are you having any games late? Anytime soon?" And she's like, "Oh, I'll put one together." So I bet if you reached out and said,
I want to
"You
play.
got any games I want to play?" she'll try to throw something together.
Now,
Maybe,
what
I don't
I
know.
remember about you, though, is you always had this, I don't want to say swagger, but you always were confident. You always seemed really confident.
In poker?
No,
Or
in
in
life. in life. I felt like Ken just exudes this confidence. Now, what I want to know is it something that you always had? Like if we rewind the clock back to grade school and high school, you were a confident kid?
No.
You weren't.
No, I mean, I think I had to. I don't know if I don't see myself as super confident now.
Really?
But I do. I guess there is a certain part of, being in this town where you have to pretend to be confident in order to survive.
Don't let them see your weakness.
You know what I mean? And so maybe there's a little bit of a confident persona, or maybe it is part of who I am. But I like to, I think the best way to professionally get jobs is, the only way is to be confident, right? I mean, when you go
Right.
on audition for something, as soon as you start second guessing yourself, the audition is dead, or the interview is dead, or the meeting is dead. So I turned a corner on that.
When?
Well, I was confident when I was in the state, when we were doing the state on MTV out of college, because I was with all my buddies, and we all
You all helped each other out.
we all helped each other out, and it was a safe place. So I was around that, and then I came out here and was introduced to this town in a not as friendly way. I replaced somebody on a TV show, and I worked with some people, and it was not a pleasant experience, and I lost my identity. And
You
I
lost your identity.
I
That's a
lost-
strong phrase.
I lost who I was, or how I could survive in certain situations professionally, and I couldn't figure out how to navigate the work environment, and I suffered because of it. It was bad. And then when that ended, in the middle of that show, I got my, for lack of a better word, phrase, I got my balls back, and I wanted to say something about balls, and it was something I saw on TikTok where people somebody was like talking about balls, and like women, everybody talks about like calling somebody a vagina or a pussy, and they're like, that's a sign of weakness, whereas like a vagina and a pussy are like so strong and like give life and do, like it couldn't be like the opposite of the calling somebody that. And then balls, when you say people have balls, says like that they're tough, but if you tap somebody's balls, they're the most fragile things.
It's so true.
It's such a
you touch
clearly
part
of
a testicle, yeah, you're done.
Clearly men have come up with those two, definitions of those two ways of using that as slang. Anyway,
that's good.
So I got my power back.
But I want to know, like, that's to say something like you lost your balls or your vagina and then you got it back.
Yeah.
Now, the interesting part to me is how the hell you got it back. Like, what did you do to get it back?
Well, I mean, the truth is I got to a point where I couldn't deal with it anymore. I couldn't deal with like the chaos of like trying to figure out how to navigate without using the tools that I knew I had. And I forgot that I had those tools for a while. And I'm like, oh no, live or die by the tools that you have. And at least then you go down knowing that you were true to yourself. And then as soon as that happened, I stood up for myself and I did the things that I thought were funny. And I said the things that I needed to say to the people that were sort of, not being kind. And then I turned a corner on that. And then right soon after that, David and Showalter were doing Wet Hot. And I did
Wet Hot American Summer.
Wet Hot American Summer. And I went and shot that with them. And I was with that group again, as well as like Paul and Amy and Brad and everybody.
Bradley Cooper, Amy Poehler.
Yeah, everybody who worked on that.
Big names.
And I was like, oh, this can exist. There are other people outside of the state that are good, kind, positive, creative, awesome people. I don't need to suffer through working with people who are not particularly kind. I can just work with people I like, and then that shift, and also kind of getting my power back, kind of dovetailed into each other. And since then, I guess I've had going with your observation, I've been more confident with how I approach this business and life.
Yeah. That's a fantastic answer. I just feel like there's times in my life where I feel like I've lost it. Like I've lost that confidence. And you said something really important. You said something, you have the tools. Is it that for a while there, you forget about the tools that you have and you're just like almost like looking at your ugly self and thinking, I can't do this, but then realizing, wait a minute, I can do this. I've done this before.
Well, I mean, I can only speak for, about my personal experiences of how it happened. And when I was doing the state, it was like being in a band, and, you, as you were together longer, you sort of have, you've dug a hole for yourself, or you've created a certain niche part of the group, or like a section of you've created your personality within the group. And there was, at a certain point, there's no reversing that. You can adjust, but there's no reversing it. But I was who I was in that group, and I, for better, for worse, that's who I was. When I left that group.
And by the way, the state was on a show that, you guys created in college, you and David Wayne and a bunch of other guys.
Yeah.
Showalter and it aired on MTV from 93 to 95. And it was this, comic troupe, and you did all these skits and things for those
Yes,
people.
we for MTV, and then
Right.
we not broke up. We just stopped making money, so everybody had to go off and do their own thing. And what was your question? About tools? What was it?
What was it, Ryan?
Oh, you were talking about your personality within the group.
So when I left the group, I was like, I'm not going to make those mistakes that I made in the group. I'm going to start fresh, right, with new people. And so I had this mantra that was not healthy. Ultimately, I thought it was healthy. I'm going to be all things to all people. Right? I'm going to approach this new person and this new person and this new person and not make the stupid mistakes that I made in my college and early 20s with the state, where I was young and I did stupid things and then or said stupid things or got into fights with people for stupid reasons. I'm going to be all things to all people. And in doing that, I never stood up for myself. And so I lost my identity.
You were giving too much to too many people, perhaps?
I was trying to be friendly with everybody and not worry about my feelings or who I was. I was just trying to be like, okay, will that make you happy? Oh, will that make you happy? Because I just, left this group that I was with for 5-6 years.
Right.
And I just wanted to start fresh. And so I thought that was a good approach. It wasn't healthy for me. And so at a certain point, I was like, I don't have to be all things to all people. I have to be true to myself, and I have to be kind to people, and I have to try to communicate as best I can, but I don't have to, not everybody has to be my friend. And that was the shift, I think, for me.
That's a great, when you're talking about this, I start to think this is kind of therapy for me. At times like this, there's with certain guests, they'll tell a story and it will come back to me. And I go, this is helping me. This makes me understand, because I feel like I give a lot to people.
Right.
And a lot of people take, and you always want to appease everybody and make everybody happy, and you're not taking care of yourself.
Right.
But for you to have that insight, did you go to therapy? Did you have a breakdown? What was it that caused?
I broke down. I went to therapy. I had moved from New York and I came out here, and I was doing a show that I was a regular on, and it was an established show. And
what was that show?
It was Men Behaving Badly.
Men Behaving Badly. Rob Schneider.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I came out, and yeah, I don't know I forget what I was saying.
Well, you were just talking about how you, when you came out, how it all shifted and you started going to therapy or whatever.
Oh, yeah. So pretty soon after me coming out, I was like, I might need to go talk to a therapist. I was also going through a relationship thing. So it was like, there was a lot of stuff that was going on in my life that I was, that I needed to speak to somebody about. And it helped.
So from the time you made it through therapy, I like this stuff. This is what people like. This is like, because you get in ruts, and how do you get out of them? Well, you went to therapy. You dealt with your anxiety. You dealt with like all these issues.
Yeah.
Because if you didn't go to therapy, you think you would have gotten through it on your own?
I don't know. I have no idea. Probably in some way. But I don't know.
Do you still get scared? Do you still get nervous? Do you still get
About
anxious? Anything, a new role, tackling something. They say a lot of times when an actor gets a role, they get a little anxiety. They get like, I can't do this.
No.
What's his name was here? Emil Hirsch. And he was like, I get this feeling I can't fucking do it. I don't know how to do it. And then fucking he figures it out.
No, I don't get anxiety about a role that I get. I go in, if I get something, or if something is given to me through either an audition or a meeting or just relationships that I have with people, I go in and I do what I think is the right thing. And lately, as I've gotten older, I'm given the freedom to do those things, and there's a trust that that's there with the people I'm working with, because I have a relationship with them. I've worked with them on other things, but I don't get scared. I'm just like, there's a trust that if I go too far, that they'll pull me back. But I've decided that, and it goes back to what I was saying before, which is like, I just have to make some choices as an actor and do them and trust that my choices are, good, and not second guess myself, be 100% confident. And then if somebody doesn't like it, they'll tell me. And if they don't say anything, then that's their issue.
Right.
And then the thing that I'm doing is going to be the thing that I'm doing. And I, for the most part, I'm going to enjoy that because it's not, there's no filter. It's just coming through me. And it's something that I think I can do that somebody else can do, but they're going to have their version of that.
Have you ever been replaced?
Yes.
You have?
Mm-hmm.
I've been replaced once too, so I know how that feels.
I was a guest on a TV show, Just Shoot Me, and I was a fireman, and they replaced me.
How did you take it?
I was waiting for that to happen at some point in my career because everybody has an experience like that. So I was like, okay. I mean, I came up, there were reasons that I was like, I think I know why that happened. And then when I watched it, I was like, yeah, sure. Okay. It didn't bother me.
Really?
No, I got paid.
You got paid.
Well, that's the other thing is like, I don't know what my dad was a plumber and a cesspool cleaner. And my mom was a dog groomer. And my dad, every time I talk to my dad, the first thing he asks me, I'm not saying this is healthy at all. You making money? Like my dad's approach to work is like, go out, collect some money, bring it home and take care of your family and go to sleep and wake up the next day and do the same thing. I've always approached acting like that, which is I need to make money I love acting and I love doing different things and I love working on really great projects, but I also like, hot water. And so I want to, ultimately, make sure that I'm putting money in the bank so I can hopefully do the things that I want to do more and more as I get older.
You talk about that, so it makes me think of your childhood. Like, what was your childhood like with your parents? Was your dad always like, when you said, I want to be an actor, I'm going to get in this comic troupe, or whatever? Were they supportive?
Always supportive.
Always supportive.
Always supportive.
He wasn't like, hey,
no,
got to bring home the bacon.
No, he was always supportive.
Everything you did, they went to your plays.
Yep. I mean, my dad came to plays when he could, but he worked crazy hours, and so. Sometimes his days consisted of waking up at 6 and rolling in at 9 o'clock at night or 10 o'clock at night because he was digging ditches and pumping people's shit out of their cesspools and putting in sewer lines. And that's what he would do.
So he had an incredible work ethic.
Yes. I mean, he worked really hard to take care of my family.
And you always looked at that. Like that's always, was he a role model, would you say?
I think so. I think my dad is he's somebody I look up to. He's a flawed human being, but aren't we all? But he's a great man.
And when you look back, you think you could have done anything? Yeah, have a drink of your tea, your coffee.
I'm sorry, did you hear my stomach go?
No, do you have to shit?
No, it's just that there's no food in me, and I can't eat anything until after my colonoscopy. My colonoscopy.
Your colonic. Are you worried that you might need to get up while you're doing this interview? I
already have to take a leak.
Why don't you pee?
What's interesting is this is another thing my wife.
It's interesting.
This is another thing my wife and I talk about. I say to her, I gotta go take a shit, or I gotta go pee, and she's like, you don't have to
address it.
Yeah, just say you're going to the bathroom. I know what goes on in there.
I don't like to miss anything, Ken. I like to leave the door open. People don't always like it.
Much like Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak. Yep.
Really?
Yeah, they like to leave the door open.
Even when I'm pooping?
Well, I don't know if that lyric is
is that a lyric?
Have you not heard that song?
No, how does it go?
Oh, it's fucking great.
How does it go, Ryan?
Silk Sonic? Gonna leave the door open.
I'm gonna leave the door open.
Leave the door open, girl.
I'm gonna leave the door open.
I'm aging myself.
Yeah.
Dude,
You
it's
are.
I
so
should
good.
know this.
But this song, but it sounds like it came out
We
in the
didn't.
70s.
We did
It's so
not.
good.
We did. Our version of it was not.
It was whispered. It was a little.
It was a little creepy, actually.
It was a little sensual.
I thought that was pretty good.
I mean, we sang on key. I will say that.
Yeah,
it was.
You could sing.
on key.
You could sing.
Which was nice. And you weren't creepy. I just feel like I was creepy.
Well, I was quieter because I can hear it like really nice in the headphones.
Oh, am I supposed to put on the headphones?
Oh, you don't have to.
You know, try them.
Oh,
you might
shit.
like it. You might like listening.
Oh,
you know,
shit.
that's the best way. It's more intimate. I didn't realize you weren't doing
No,
that.
I wasn't. So
Look
I was
how
probably
nice that
yelling
is.
this whole time.
So let's start over.
All right.
So you brought these things over, these TV guides.
Listen, I'm going to pee now.
Yeah, you should pee.
No, now.
Right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh boy. Is he really doing it? Go pee.
All right.
This episode is sponsored by Blue Chew. Say it with us. Blue Chew. Blue Chew is bringing more confidence to the bedroom by offering chewable tablets that can help men get stronger and longer lasting erections. I call them boners. They have the professional term erections. It's true. I don't care how old you are. We've all lost a boner, folks. Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in chewable form and at a fraction of the cost.
Blue Chew's tablets help men achieve harder, stronger erections to combat all forms of ED.
Blue Chew is an online prescription service, so no visits to the doctor's office, folks. No awkward conversations and no waiting in line at the pharmacy. And it ships right to your door in a discreet package.
The process is simple. Sign up at bluechew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. The best part? It's all done online.
Blue Chew's licensed medical providers work with you to find the right ingredient and strength for your prescription. Don't like swallowing pills? No problems here. Blue Chew's sildenafil and tadalafil tablets are chewable. Blue Chew's tablets are made in the US of A, and they prepare and ship direct, so it's cheaper than a pharmacy. So if you could benefit from extra confidence when it's time to perform, visit bluechew.com. I know I do. And here's a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew free when you use our promo code INSIDE at checkout. Just pay $5 shipping. That's bluechew.com. Promo code INSIDE to receive your first month free. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the podcast. Inside of You is brought to you by my good friends at BetterHelp. BetterHelp online therapy. This is working. I don't know how many people have come up to me, Ryan, at conventions saying, I tried BetterHelp. It's really saving my life. It's really helping me. One of those people is Ryan.
It's helping me. It's a helpful service.
And you got
it's in the name. Help.
BetterHelp.
BetterHelp.
And did you get a new therapist?
I did. Yeah. Just recently.
Right, because Ryan had a therapist, and so he wanted another therapist, and so that's what's happened. It's so easy. BetterHelp Online Therapy really has done a great job, and I really appreciate having them on the as a sponsor. They're just so fitting. That's what we do here. We talk about a lot of things: depression, anxiety. Look, whether you're struggling with grief, relationships, or stress, or you're having trouble sleeping or meeting goals, online therapy might be for you. BetterHelp is secure online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions with a licensed professional therapist. BetterHelp will assess your needs and match you with your own accredited therapist. You can start communicating in under 48 hours, and you don't have to sit in an uncomfortable waiting room. Therapists have a broad range of expertise, which may not be available in your area. The service is available for clients worldwide. You can log into your account anytime and send a message to your therapist. You'll get timely and thoughtful responses, plus you can schedule weekly video or phone sessions. It's really amazing and easy. And BetterHelp is committed to facilitating great therapeutic matches, so they make it easy and free to change therapist if you need, like Ryan. It's also more affordable than traditional offline therapy, and financial aid is available. I'm telling you, offline therapy is so much more expensive. Coming from someone who has gone through a lot of therapy, I'm telling you, this is the way to go. It's easy. Visit betterhelp.com/inside and join the over 2 million people who have taken charge of their mental health with the help of an experienced professional. Inside of You is sponsored by BetterHelp, and our listeners get 10% off their first month of online therapy at betterhelp.com/inside. That's BetterHelp, BetterHelp.com/inside. BetterHelp Online Therapy. Try it, folks. Inside of You is brought to you by Chili Sleep. Listen to this, guys. Science tells us that the best way to achieve and maintain consistent deep sleep is by lowering core body temperature. Temperature-controlled sleep restores testosterone levels, repairs muscle after a hard day's work, and improves cognitive function so you always start your day feeling sharp and alert.
Chili Sleep makes customizable, climate-controlled sleep solutions that help you improve your entire well-being.
Chili Sleep makes the Uller and Cube Sleep systems hydro-powered, temperature-controlled mattress toppers that fit over your existing mattress to provide your ideal sleep temperature.
These luxury mattress pads keep your bed at the perfect temperature for deep sleep, whether you sleep hot or cold. These sleep systems are designed to help you fall asleep, stay asleep, and give you the confidence and energy to power through your day.
You know, for me, since using Chili Sleep, I usually, sleeping is, first of all, the mattress is the most important thing. But if you're sleeping, if you can cool your body down, it's the most important thing. It really is. It's incredibly important. And as for, for things that we talk about in here, like increasing testosterone and other things, but sleep is the most important thing in the world, folks. And if you're not getting a good night's sleep, you're missing out because you're not being the best you. Chili Sleep helps. Imagine waking up and not feeling tired, folks. Chili Sleep can help make that happen. For an extra layer of comfort, they also make the Chili Blanket, the only weighted blanket that can also be paired with a control unit for the ultimate sweat-free sleep. I mean, I'm telling you, this thing works. I like to sleep cold, Ryan, and anything that makes me sleep cold and lowers my body temperature, the core temperature. I mean, you see all the results that happen when you sleep in a colder temperature. It works. Look, don't take my word for it. Just go do it. Just go do it. All right. Head over to chilisleep.com/IOU to learn more and check out a special offer available exclusively for Inside of You listeners and for only a limited time. That's Chili, CHILI, sleep.com/IOU to take advantage of our exclusive discount and wake up refreshed every day. CHILI, chilisleep.com/IOU.
So Spalding Gray wrote a book.
Swimming in Cambodia?
Well, he did a one-man show, and he also wrote a book about that. That's right. But prior to that book, he wrote a book called, I think, Sex and Death by the Age of 14 or something like that. Something like that.
Right.
And in it, I remember there's a little section where he had a girl over his house, and he would go into the bathroom, and he knew that you can hear the person peeing. The person outside can hear when he was peeing in the toilet.
Right.
So he would take like a pitcher of water and pour it in, so it was a stronger flow. So it sounded like he had a stronger flow to the girl outside. And I always thought, well,
why?
I think maybe because that implied that he had a
bigger
dick.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's kind of odd.
Well, look, it made for a great story for him, not necessarily for this podcast.
Do you embarrass easily? I would take it you don't.
What's there to be embarrassed?
What embarrasses you?
I don't know.
You really don't know anything that embarrasses you? Like not fucking up on set, not getting your lines out, not being able to be as great as you thought you were.
Oh, so you're talking about like professionally?
Well, professionally or unprofessionally. Like, things that embarrass you. Like, I don't like being called out. I don't know. I could be sensitive, but I'm pretty good with it. I used to get really mad when people go, you don't listen. You don't listen. And
Right.
finally I just said, I accepted that.
Why don't you think? I mean, do you agree with that? Do you agree that you don't listen?
I think I have selective hearing. I think that I listen when someone really needs to tell me something, or it's I'm engaged, or I have these headphones on and I'm talking to someone. I'm able to focus. I have a little ADD. So if it's a lot of nonsense, if you're talking to a person for hours on end about, whatever, spending the day with them, and they're kind of like sometimes say something. They'll be chirping. I'll be chirping. I don't always hear it.
But in this situation, do you check out? Do you find yourself checking out, or you seem pretty on top of it?
No, I'm pretty on
point.
top of it. I'm on point for the most part. You're engaging. I have these like I said, I put the headphones. Don't you feel now that you put the cans on, you feel a little more like you're engaged?
Sure. I mean, what I feel like is I can hear every noise I make, which is, I guess maybe that's how I get embarrassed. I don't want to hear my bodily, like my clicks and like my stomach going.
So do you like watching yourself?
On
Film.
I always like to watch whatever I do the first time by myself. And then I'll watch it a couple of times. And then I have no problem watching with other people. So so that embarrasses me. If I'm watching something I've never seen the final result of, like, like a thing that I've done. Oh, my fly's open.
No one can see that. You're waist down.
Oh, look at that. Well, I see it.
Yeah. It's good for you.
If I watch something that I've never seen before, that I've been in with other people, that I get uncomfortable. I always want to see what the cut is.
You want to be the judge.
Yeah.
Of who sees it. So
no, I want to see what takes they used. I want to see how they did it. I want to see how the piece looks. And then I can say, yeah, I'll watch that with you, or you can watch that by yourself.
Have you been disappointed with your work at all in your lifetime?
Of course. Yeah. Haven't you?
Oh yeah. Sure.
Yeah. I mean,
I always do the best I can, and I always feel like, I'm going to give it all I have. And sometimes you're always, it just depends on, there's so many variables, for instance, Smallville. If I was really good on a really crappy show, it wouldn't matter. No one would care. All the pieces have to fall in line. The show has to be good. The writing has to be good.
Right.
The acting has to be good. All these things have to be. So most of the time it's a disappointment because a lot of those things usually don't make it. Does that make sense?
Well, I mean, so you watch something that you felt good about your performance, and then you watched the whole thing and you're like, well, I didn't like that whole thing, so I don't like my performance?
Probably.
I don't know.
Because I'm part of it.
I will watch something where I don't like how it came out, like the show, the tone, or the approach to the show, and I watch what I did, and sometimes I'm like, oh, I like that they used that stuff, or I still feel good about what I did, or sometimes I'm like, oh wow, it was cut together where they pulled all the stuff that I thought was interesting out.
Yeah.
So it varies.
I always notice that you really commit. You either, because you can do drama, you're adept at comedy and drama. I mean, you've done drama. By the way, do you prefer drama over comedy, or you just like acting in general?
I just like acting.
You'll do whatever they tell you to do.
Yeah. I don't think there's a big difference between drama and comedy.
Really? I think comedy, here's the thing. I think drama's easier, but I think comedy's harder because it's so many takes and it's so many to get the right timing and everything. Where drama, you just, as long as you're real and grounded. Not to say...
Well, but that's the thing. I think in comedy, you have to be real and grounded. The stakes are higher, right? The importance of, like, for me, like my approach is like, if we're talking about like whatever.
Party down.
Party down. We're talking about party down, right? Ron Donald is a guy who, every choice he makes, it's all important to him. And so I think it's played to be real through the character that he is. Do I try to make some comic choices in there, some physicalities or like different things like within a scene? Sure. But like my hope is that it's always grounded and real.
Makes sense. Was Party Down, did you think it was going to be successful when you guys were doing it? Did you have any idea? Do you ever know, really?
No. I mean, I knew it was a special show. I knew the people that I was working with were like talented and special and good people, and there was an energy that I liked, and I hoped that it would be successful because I like being around that energy.
And how many seasons did you do Party Down?
We did 2.
Just 2 seasons?
Yeah,
I thought it was more than that.
It was for Stars, which nobody had at the time. It only got a following. Like Netflix had just started, and they had put out the seasons on Netflix. But by that point, it was already a sinking ship.
But supposedly they're bringing this back.
Yes, supposedly.
Well, do you know the answer?
Yeah, supposedly.
And what are they going to do? Supposedly, season,
another like a season for Stars is supposedly.
And how exciting!
I mean, they were working on a movie at one point. I don't think that's happening. But I think
it's uncanny. It's just this doesn't happen a lot. A show airs 2 seasons, and then they want to bring it back.
Well,
I mean, that's a rarity. I've been on a lot of shows that last 1 season, 2 seasons. They don't 5 years.
How long was Arrested Development on? 3 seasons, right? Or was it 4?
It was 3, and then they brought it back for 4 or 5. Yeah.
Like I said, it's a rarity.
Look, I hope they bring it back. I can't.
Oh, so you can't divulge.
I don't know. I mean, I know they've always talked about it, and it's a possibility.
And you want to do it,
of course. Any chance to get to work with those guys again is a gift. You know how it is. You work with like a lot of people that or people that you enjoy spending time around and creating with. It goes back to what I was saying about Wet Hot American Summer. As soon as I realized, this is special and rare, but something that I can strive for and try to be immersed in as much as possible. That's all I try to do. I try to work with people I enjoy and whose comic sensibilities I appreciate and respond to, and then sometimes the stuff is successful, sometimes it's not. But ultimately, I think it's always interesting and good.
Did you think Wet Hot American Summer would have been the cult classic that it's become?
No, but that's another show where like we shot it and we're like, we don't care if anybody watches this. We know it's funny.
And it was all your friends. It's like you're going to camp with all your friends.
That's what we did. We stayed at a camp for 7 weeks or 6 weeks, and we all just stayed at this camp during the off season. It was great. And
you just did what you wanted in a sense, like you do a take. Did David just sort of say? I mean, didn't you co-write it?
I did not. He and Showalter.
So when they're doing these, when they're filming, are you able to improvise? Do they want you to stick to a script? Do they go, give me a Ken take? Give me a big...
I mean, back then it was David's first movie he was directing. A lot of us, it was our first movie that we were in. And, much like and there wasn't a lot of time to improvise a lot because it was a short schedule and ambitious. And, but yeah, of course, everybody sort of tried different things, but the script, everybody stuck to the script at first and tried to honor that.
When you watch it now, when's the last time you saw it?
I think I watched it with my son, who's 14, recently, and then he watched the series. And so maybe within the last year. I don't know if I watched the whole thing.
What did he think?
He loved it. I think he really liked it. I think he appreciated it.
Yeah, it's just a classic. Do you just not love that movie? It's great. It really is. So many great characters in that. Who's your favorite? Who's your what's the one moment in that movie or the one character that just kicks your ass, that just makes you laugh every time you see it? Him or her?
I mean, Maloney's fantastic. I like the relationship between Maloney and 80 Miles. I think that's great. I like me and Joe. I like Joe.
Hilarious.
And I like when Joe and I get to do stuff together.
Yeah.
I think there's fun stuff in the series that Joe and I get to do that makes me laugh.
Do you know what one of my favorite moments in that movie is? It's
when I crash into the tree.
Hilarious.
Is that what you're going to say?
Yes, it's one of the best movies. You know what another one is? Is Showalter going, yes, in the dinosaur and in the...
when he was...
I was so old that pterodactyls were there or whatever.
What the hell is his name? I forget.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
He just killed me.
Look,
I look at
hysterical.
your resume. You've done so much shit. Not when I say shit, I mean like the shit, not shit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, sure, you've done shit. We've all done shit.
Sure.
But like Will and Grace, Angel, Reno 911, Grey's Anatomy, Monk, Happy Endings, Wet Hot American Summer, Party Down, Wanderlust. You co-wrote Wanderlust, right?
I did.
The other two is now on.
The other two has been on. The first season came out.
I'm going to watch it because Ryan just told me about it. Now I got to go watch that.
Oh yeah, you got to see the other two. It's great.
Yeah, I can't wait.
It's a great show.
Tell me the premise. It's about
So it's about there's this overnight success. This 14-year-old boy becomes an overnight success on YouTube sensation, like a Justin Bieber type kid, and becomes a star overnight. But it's not about him. It's about his older brother and sister who are struggling in New York and experiencing his rise to fame so quickly. And their relationship, and then Molly Shannon is the mom, the Midwest mom who comes out to chaperone him and watch him. And I'm the manager who gloms on, who considers himself family, but isn't.
I can imagine. I can't wait to watch it. I'm going to watch it.
Yeah, you should watch that. I think that, yeah.
What else should I watch?
Well, have you ever seen Burning Love?
I haven't. Yes, I saw one episode. I really enjoyed that.
You should watch Burning Love. I think that my wife and I wrote that. Oh, my wife wrote that and created that, and I directed it. And we did 3 seasons, and they're short, little quick seasons. But I'm super proud of that.
Burning Love. How hard is it to write and work with your wife?
Easy. I mean, it was easy. I didn't write. She wrote it, and then I directed it and was in it, and it was great. It was one of the most incredible experiences of my professional life.
How do you keep things sane in the house? How do you keep a happy marriage when you're both in the business and you're both working together and you're both on top of each other's shit all the time?
I think you try to communicate as healthy as possible. I think you just try to talk about the things that are clearly there. And if something comes up that's, it's not really about that, you say, well, it's not really about that, right? It's about this. So let's talk about that and let's work through it.
I mean, that's not all easy.
No.
Always.
No.
Nothing's easy.
No.
Do you recommend me getting married? Ken?
To whom?
I mean, I'm just in general. Do you recommend marriage?
I don't think you need to get married. But if you want to get married, I think you should get married.
Do you think people should only get married if they're going to have kids?
I don't think kids, I don't think it's about kids. I think if you want to have a ceremony where you're committing yourself to somebody and you want everybody to celebrate and you want to call it marriage, then you should do it, whether or not you're having kids. But you don't have to commit yourself to somebody.
You hear that, Ryan?
Yeah.
What do you think, Ryan?
What do I think?
You think I'm ever going to get married?
I don't know if you find the right person.
I mean, are you dating anybody right now?
No, not right now.
Do you want to get married, or do you feel pressure from your family or something?
No, I mean, every time you see my grandmother, she's like, when are you going to have kids? You'd be such a great dad. When are you going to do this? You hear it all the time. And you see your friends that are couples and they're doing all these things together. And you spend a lot of nights alone. You do.
Right.
There's a lot of time when you're alone.
Right.
And then you immerse yourself in work. And the next thing you're working too much. And then you're spending the nights alone. And you're like, but you don't want to get into that old shit where you just start seeing girl after girl and, because that happened.
Right.
And it's just, they're filling the void, in a sense. You're both like, maybe you're both alone. So it's like, I don't know.
I mean, I think that you should just live your life every day. And then if you find somebody you want to spend a lot of time with, then do that. What are you going to get married for your grandma? Don't get married for your grandma.
And by the way, you know what's funny?
You know what? You know what? You see your grandma how many times a year?
Twice a year.
Twice a year. And you're going to get married because you talk to her twice a year. I'm mad.
You know what I told her?
What'd you tell her?
I said, Blanc, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to get married and finally have a kid and you're going to die.
And she said, don't call me Blanc.
Yeah.
Wait, you just tell your grandmother she's going to die? I mean, I'm sure she knows it.
I say that to her. Yeah. She always sings the song, the old mare ain't what she used to be, ain't what she used to be. She's always complaining
then
about
she's going to die.
And she's going to die. When you do all these things, this is good therapy for me. When you do all these episodics, all these things.
Yeah.
Did you just like working, or were you like, when am I going to get my fucking chance? When am I not going to do a guest star? Did you go through those stages of, because it is not easy, by the way. The hardest part of being an actor, I think, well, not working, but then that's the hardest part. But being a guest star is the second hardest, because you're coming into a show that's already established and then you're just jumping in there.
Yeah.
I think that's the hardest. Did you like doing guest stars?
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah. I didn't feel that way. I don't feel that way when I do a guest spot. I feel like, especially later, but like, you know, I mean, the worst part about it is they shoot the actors out and then you have like 1 or 2 takes before lunch or 1 or 2 takes before you wrap at the end of the day for your coverage. But when I realized that, I just would do, again, it goes back to what I was saying. I just do what I ultimately would want to land on, as opposed to like, you know, shuffling up, hedging up to the edge, or, you know, creeping up to the edge and being like, will anybody want to see me make these choices? I just go in and do those choices. And then if they don't like it, then they can make the adjustment on the next take, which is the second take and the only other take I'll get in the shot. But the point is I like doing guest spots. I don't feel a lot of pressure doing it. I enjoy it. If they want me to come on their show and I'm lucky enough to be a guest on their show, I'm going to have a good time. You
really love work. You love acting.
I do. Don't you?
I don't know, man. I don't know if I love it as much. I think it's a lot of. Look, I'm very grateful. I've talked about this a million times. If it's something I do or I create or it's part of, like, you know, with your friends, like you say, that could be great. I'm very excited about that. But there's also something about shooting a scene, a 2-page scene in 6 hours. Yeah. Over and over and over again.
Why? What?
I don't think that's fun.
Oh, see, I have a very different feeling.
Tell me about that. I mean, I do it. I'm pleasant and I'm very fun.
Well,
and I like, but I don't, and I can enjoy it. But it's not like everyone thinks. People come to see me on set and I'm doing something and they're like, "Holy fuck, you're doing this again?"
Right.
And I get it. I'm like, "Yeah, doing it again."
I guess my feeling is my approach to it is 99% of the time you're not acting, right? And so when you get the opportunity to act, when you're given text and you're given a platform or a place to do it with cameras rolling or people watching, then you get and you get to do it a bunch of times. That's fun because you can bend it in different directions. You can give a bunch of different options. You're giving. I'm thinking about like the editor getting 17 different options of what might work, and it's fun for me. To have the opportunity to play with something and be like, what's another way that within the confines of like what the scene is and, you know, honoring the script and honoring the character and serving the story where you're supposed to, what's another way I can bend this? And so a lot of takes I enjoy a lot of takes.
I hear you. I'm just saying, I think that over the years, Ken, I think I really did enjoy it. I just threw myself into it. And then something happened where I'm like, I don't know, maybe I got a little jaded. Maybe I got a little bit like, I don't know. You know, even Ryan will tell me I'm supposed to do this movie. And I'm very blessed. He's like, do it. Get your feet wet again. Get in there.
You have to do it.
Fall in love again.
You have to do it.
I know he really think, you know, and it's not that I look, I like acting. I think I do an okay job. I just, maybe I've been on some things that I'm just like, God, that was just too much fucking work. And it just wasn't the greatest payoff.
Well, that's why you know, but that's the paycheck part of it. Like you got paid and then you get to appreciate those moments. For me would be like Party Down or Burning Love or Wet Hot American Summer or like, you know, Eastbound and Down, like things that I get to do that are special. And I appreciate those and value those even more. And I can say, wow, I got to do that. And then the other stuff is like paychecks. I'm collecting the paycheck.
You know, it's funny.
And I'm also working out. I'm working out the
process.
The acting muscle or whatever. I'm getting to act and do stuff. And sometimes it's going to be, you know, you get thrown out at first, and sometimes it's going to be, you know, a nice little extra bass hit.
You know what I would have done, and I would have been excited, and I would have worked any hours to do. was do Eastbound and Down.
Oh.
And this guy tested for it against me, and I read with Danny,
Mm-hmm.
and they said it's between you and one other guy, and they went with you.
Oh, was it me?
Yeah. And I go, well, fuck, I love Ken. But that motherfucker, that's the one I wanted. I remember going in.
Sorry about that.
No, but I remember, and we hit it off, and he came up to me at a table read for something else. He goes, man, you were fucking funny. We were going to cast you, but you were right up there, man. You were right up there with the guy I go, yeah, Ken. He's like, yeah, Ken's great, but you were right up there too. Just want you to know you were really funny. And he was cool. So that's always nice to hear that.
Yes.
What a treat. Did you improvise the shit out of that?
They had a script, but yeah, every scene was, we opened it up, I think. I mean, I definitely threw in a lot of stuff.
Can that be intimidating? Working with someone like Danny McBride, I mean, you're going toe to toe with him, and you did it, and you nailed it. But like, he's a wizard, right?
Yeah, he's incredible.
He just goes. Were you just shot? Like, how funny was he on his side?
Always funny, but always grounded, always real. Like, he never says anything that doesn't feel like it's, just going back to the drama and the comedy. Like,
right.
He's saying, what when he would say it was, grounded and real, and yeah, it was funny, but it felt like, sure, there was comedy to it, but it was real. He always seems real.
How often did you break?
I don't remember.
Because I think McBride is honestly one of my top favorite comedians.
He's the best.
Like, I don't know how I would like. I mean, I guess when you're on set, you just got to stay in. It seems like you've worked around you hear that? Or was that you?
That was weird. No.
Oh.
Well, it's gone now.
Oh.
Was it an earthquake? What do we got?
But maybe it's your stomach.
I didn't hear it that time, but maybe.
But you've worked with so many great comedians. You've been around them. You've worked with everybody. A ton of top-notch improvisational comedians. So there's probably not a lot that makes you laugh anymore. You seem like someone that just was staying character, and you're hard to break. Is that true?
I don't think I break a lot. No. I don't think I break a lot. I think you break when you're not fully the person that you're doing. I think, like, when you're watching yourself, you break more than when you're really connected to the person, because whatever the person says, you should try to respond to it in a real way through that character that you're playing. But sometimes something, I can't always get to that place. So yeah, I guess I break sometimes. I don't know.
But don't you like it? Don't you like it when you break every once in a while?
I like watching other people break. I've been watching a lot of bloopers of Always Sunny, and my God, first of all, I love those guys, and I think that their show is.
I had fun.
Incredible.
I got to do an episode.
You did?
I really enjoyed it.
Oh, what did you do? What
I did Gun Control. It was like the first season. I played her boyfriend. What's her name? D.
Yeah,
D's boyfriend, who comes into town.
Yeah,
it was really fun.
I mean, watching them and watching them break each other up is, it's like it keeps coming up on my TikTok,
right.
And I'm like, oh, great, give me more bloopers of them.
So you like seeing other people fuck up?
I like seeing other people enjoy each other and laugh.
Jimmy Fallon, was that
no,
too
it's
much?
Ken.
No, Jimmy Fallon. He used to break up on Saturday Night Live like every time.
Yes.
Did that bother you? Some people would bother. Oh, he's breaking up. But come on. I always thought it was funny when he was always fucking up.
I mean, it was fine. I liked when Rachel Dratch would break up in the Debbie Downer sketch. That I enjoyed that more. When it's when the main character breaks on SNL and there's no resetting, that's more funny to me than the person who's sort of peripherally in the scene breaking.
Right. She's the lead in the scene.
Yeah, and then she has to get through it, and everybody else is trying to keep it together for her, and she can't do it. That's when I really enjoy it.
How do you like directing?
I love it.
Because you directed a couple episodes of The Goldbergs?
I directed one, but I've directed some features, and I've directed
Children's Hospital.
I've directed Children's Hospital. You're looking at my IMDb page.
No.
What are you looking at?
Well, there's just notes I took.
Oh. Well, I
just looked up your directing.
Then I'm going to tell you, I did 2 features that I enjoyed directing, and I directed all of Burning Love. Those are the things.
You directed all of Burning Love?
Mm-hmm.
And how do you like that? What is it that you love about directing?
You see you see the whole picture, and you get to control the elements, and you get to control the tone of the set, and you get to I love actors, so I love talking to actors about acting and comedy. That's so much fun. And to try to mold something into what your vision of something is it's pretty pure.
I find it very difficult when you're in a lot of it to direct. Like I choose, like my next choice would not to be the lead role in something, in a feature, or a major role, an integral part of something. I'd like to sit back and just watch and observe and direct, as opposed to being in it. That I always found, like when Bradley Cooper directed, what was it called?
The Star is Born?
Star is Born. I'm like amazed.
Well, I guess my feeling is you're cutting out the middleman. Like you're the director and the actor, so you know how to modulate it to where you want to go. The cameras don't have to, you don't have to yell cut. You don't have to pull the actor aside and be like, okay, now I want you to do that. You're just fucking doing it. And you're on, you're in front of the camera, and you're the director, so nobody could say, oh no, I'm going to cut. You just keep rolling. I'm going to do that again. Like you have more control if you can kind of bounce back and forth between seeing it and being in it. And the only time I've found it to be hard to direct and act in something at the same time is when it's a big group scene. Because you're thinking about, like, how are you covering?
Right.
Did I cover that? What's the best way to cover that? Who's on camera?
And you have to have someone have your back, like watch your performance, because you can't go back and watch everything that you're in. You got to kind of trust yourself and trust the people that are watching you.
Yes, but when you give a good performance, right? I
think so. I mean, there were times when I directed and I remember
thinking it was good, and then it wasn't.
The producer's like, your energy's just really low. And I'm like, that's because I haven't slept in 2 months. But you're right. And then I would do it again. I needed somebody to have my back, because I probably would have gone like, oh, that felt pretty good.
Right.
I was asleep, but I didn't realize it.
What did you direct?
I made this little raunchy comedy called Back in the Day. It was like 2013. It was like Swartzen, Marina Baccarin, Harlan Williams, bunch of people. It was fun.
That's great.
Yeah, it was in the middle of nowhere, and great time of my life. But also, I regret, like, I shouldn't have been the lead in it. I would have enjoyed it much more if I was not the lead in it.
Did you write it?
Yeah.
So you wrote it. You're like, I'm going to direct this puppy.
Yes.
I'm going to be in it.
And my brother kept saying, "You're Jim. You're fucking Jim, man.
You gotta be Jim.
You gotta be Jim." I'm like, fuck, I wish I wouldn't listen to my brother. He didn't know what the fuck he was talking about.
Well, stop listening to your brother, stop listening to your grandmother, and just live your life.
Well, you stopped trying to appease everybody, Ken.
I did many years ago.
You just stopped.
Yeah.
You said, I'm not going to do this. And it's guilt that I feel when someone says, oh, yeah, hey, I haven't seen you in a while, or they text me. You don't always have to text back, right? You don't always have to send emails back. I think that's my problem, is I always have to just, Ryan's looking at me like, but I always feel like I just have to make everybody happy still. And I got to fucking stop that.
Here's my thing about emails. I think that they're called emails. And so it's like mail. And so for me, mail sits on my fucking desk and I don't open it for months. So all of a sudden I got it. Like when people get mad at me for not responding to an email, I'm like, it's email. It's mail.
It's mail.
I don't look at it all the time. It's mail. Sometimes I don't look at it for like 6 months.
It's like a Seinfeld bit.
This is genius.
Now I say, if you want me, text me. And I see it's immediate. I'll respond.
I'm going to start doing that.
I don't know if it's healthy, but that's what.
But I always like to delete my emails right away. I like to make so there's not many there, and I have folders, and they just go in those folders and they disappear pretty much.
And then you never look at them again. But you have those folders.
But I have those folders. This is called Shit Talking with Ken Marino.
Well, that's sort of like my TV guides.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I just keep them, but I'm never going to look at them.
Never going to look at them. Well, we looked at them today.
We sure did.
I'm very excited. It was a great gift. You brought gifts. You brought coffee. Mm-hmm. Very strong coffee. This last segment is called Ken Marino. It's Shit Talking with Ken Marino. These are all my patrons, people who love the podcast, people who give it extra to the podcast. Go to patreon.com/inside of you if you want to join. It's awesome. But these are quick, rapid fire.
That means, you mean like answer quickly?
You can.
Don't have diarrhea of the mouth?
You can. You can do whatever you want. Emily asks, favorite role you've done so far in your career? The one role that you just go, that was my favorite role.
There's
Too hard.
Sophie's Choice. I'll tell you some of them.
Give me top 3.
Burning Love. Burning Love. Wet Hot. And Party Down.
There you go. 3. I like that.
Ron Donald, Victor Pulak, and Mark Orlando.
Michelle K., who's your absolute favorite comedian you've worked with? I know that's hard, but like the one that you just go, God, I just fucking love that.
Well, I mean, somebody I'm in awe of, like, and their skills and their talents. I mean, Danny McBride is. We just talked about him. I think he's incredibly special.
He really is.
Yeah,
I love that guy.
But I mean, I've worked with a lot of really incredible, funny people.
Betsy D., how much fun did you have working on Axe Cop with Nick Offerman?
I loved working on Axe Cop. I loved the original graphic novel, I guess you would call it. My son and I would read it together, and I was excited when they started doing it. And I reached out and I said, please, can I, read for Axe Cop? And they're like, Nick Offerman's doing it, but you can be Flute Cop. And I said, great. And then I would go into a studio and do the voice. So I never saw Nick when I was doing it, but I know Nick, and he's a fantastic guy.
Kelly S., is there a particular actor or actress that you would love to work with in the future that you haven't worked with?
There's so many people that I'd like to work with. I can't think of anyone in particular. I just want to keep working with really good people.
Leanne P., what advice would you give yourself, a younger self? If you had to give advice to a younger self, what would it be?
If you're talking
go
about
back in time,
giving advice to my younger self,
yep.
And my younger self wanted to be an actor?
Just in general.
Oh, okay. Well, no sudden movements, and stop looking for it, and you'll find it.
Stop looking for it, and you'll find it. See, that's directly to me. Right, that's what just happened. It just went right to me. Lastly, Joe Latruglio from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. You guys have done tons of stuff with American State,
but he didn't bring you anything.
He didn't bring me shit.
He didn't bring you anything.
Not a damn thing.
He didn't bring you a coffee?
Nothing.
He didn't bring you TV guys?
He did no TV guys.
From the 70s and 80s?
Nothing. He did bring me a story though, and I love this story. Set it up. Go ahead. Tell me the story about when you're doing a pilot and Joe comes to see you. And I don't know, I can't believe this happened, but the story killed me.
So after the state, Joe and I came out here for pilot season. I had booked a pilot. It was called Housebroken. It was me. It was 3 brothers who move into their parents' house because the parents retired and went to Florida. And so it was me. I was the bachelor. I was like the ladies' man. Sean Astin and his wife, and I'm forgetting the woman's name.
Sean Astin.
But Sean Astin was like the, uptight, like keeping everything organized. And Mark Ruffalo as the kind of wacky, brother. Like the
good cast.
Yeah. And we shot it. And my first scene, and it's
a live studio audience, right?
Yeah, I think that this is it. Or it might have been Men Behaving Badly. Now I'm fucking.
But just go with this one.
Anyway, so I asked Joe to come to the audience and watch. And because Joe and I have worked on the state together, I come in and I do a scene.
And that's all you told him to do is just sit there and watch.
Yeah, just come to the show. No, but then I come in and I do the first take of the scene. And it's a short little scene, my entrance. I come in, I say a couple things, and it's like the cold open or something. And they cut. And then I turned to Joe and I'm like, while they're setting the cameras up,
you looked at him like, you like it? Funny?
I'm like, what do you, well, I was sort of asking like, good. Was it okay? Yeah. I was like, was it all right? Yeah. And he does like a turning of a knob. He's like,
down.
He goes, turn it up. He goes, I'm sorry. The first thing he goes, Metze. He does that hand thing. He goes, and I was like, and I froze, and I got inside my head, and I was like, oh shit, what I did sucked. And then I have given him shit about that.
You've never invited him to a taping of your show again.
He's no longer allowed.
I mean, holy shit! I couldn't imagine. I'd get in my head if I looked out to my friend like, huh, not bad. He's like,
man, turn it up just a little bit.
you're okay. You're okay. Turn it up, dude.
Could be worse.
I would
Middling.
flip. I would freak. Oh my God. Well, this has been a real treat, man.
My treat.
I really
Thank you.
enjoyed this. You helped me in many ways. You've entertained in many ways. I'm excited about your colonoscopy tomorrow.
We sang.
We did
You sang.
We did.
This has been a real treat. And Ryan was excited about you being on here. And he's not excited about a lot of guests.
Oh, I was a huge Party Down fan.
Oh, thank you, Ryan.
No, I mean, I just have to say, like, my favorite scene was because like what you were saying about like comedy, like you playing it truthful is the best way to do it, and that is just like anyone who teaches comedy will tell you that, like, it's not just saying the ridiculous thing, it's believing the ridiculous thing.
Right.
And Ron was just so that, because every catering event was the most important thing.
It really was.
And my favorite one was the one when you did the
flag.
The flag. The young
guess that,
the young
too.
conservatives,
Young Republican.
the young Republicans thing.
And you
because Ron got put in charge of this like battle worn American flag. I think Josh Gad.
Josh Gad was in it.
yeah.
He gave it to you, and you were like, "This is the most important thing." And then Martin Starr's character got barbecue sauce on it,
And then you put it in the washer.
You put it in the washer. All the colors ran, and just everything was so
ridiculous.
all altruistic. And then the episode ends with you pulling a flag down in the parking lot and setting it on fire.
And they're all watching in the window.
Because you're trying to make it look like it did in the battle. And it was just, and that, like, at that moment, I was like, oh my God, this is this is the funniest thing.
Yeah,
and
and
it was
talk
so
about
good.
a character that you like. It's over the top in ways, but really, once you continue to watch it, it's not. It's so grounded in that's who that guy is, and he's got to keep everybody on their feet. Like, what are you doing? I told you not to go in the fucking room. Get out of the room. What are you? It's just like this.
He's wound up.
It's
tight.
all wound up.
Yeah.
And it works. The more you watch it, the more you get, because you have to be that guy. You have to. I mean, I've seen that guy. Anyway, thank you for being on here.
Guys.
This is a real treat.
It was my treat. I appreciate you inviting me.
Yeah, anytime. You're always welcome, especially if you bring treats.
Always bring treats.
All right. Thanks, Ken.
Thank you.
Loved it. Guy makes me laugh. Knows how to make folks laugh. He's got a knack for it. That's for sure. I want to thank you guys again for listening. If you were here for Ken Marino, please subscribe. Make sure you subscribe. We're everywhere. Apple, Stitcher, Spotify. You can watch on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe. Tell all your friends. Our handles are @InsideU Podcast on Instagram and Facebook, and @InsideU Pod on the Twitter.
All the places.
Mm-hmm.
My God. If you haven't watched Party Down, please go watch it.
Party Down. So
There's only
funny.
2 seasons. You can burn through it. And
Burn through it.
God, this guy's so funny.
He is funny. And I will be in Denver October 30th and 31st with Tom Welling, Clark Kent. We'll be there signing autographs, so make sure you're in Denver, Colorado, October 30th and 31st. It's going to be a lot of fun. Without my lovely patrons, who I always talk about, I couldn't do this podcast. And I'm going to give a shout out to all my top tiers right now. If you're a top tier, you get your name shouted out in the podcast. So join Patreon, patreon.com/inside of you.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Here we go. Nancy,
D,
Leah,
S,
Trisha,
F,
Sarah,
V,
Little,
Lisa,
you,
Kiko,
Jill,
E,
Brian,
H,
Mama, Lauren,
G,
Nico.
P.
They didn't even give me a P. Jerry W, Robert B, Jason W, Apothean, Kristen K, Amelia O, Allison L, Raj C, Joshua D, Emily
S,
CJP, Samantha M, Jennifer
D,
N, Stacy L, Jen S, Jamal F, Janelle B, Carrie B, Tabitha 272, not to be confused with
Tabitha 273,
Kimberly E, Mike E, Eldon Supremo, 99 more, Amira, Santiago M, Sarah F, Chad W, Leanne P, Janine R, Maya
P,
yes, Maddie S, Shannon D, Belinda N, Kevin V, James R, Chris H, Dave H, Spider-Man Chase, Sheila G, Brad D, Ray H, hi Ray, hi Tabitha T, Liliana A, Turd K, what was it again?
It was Turd Ferguson.
Turd Ferguson.
It's a funny name.
Michelle, Michael S, Talia M, Betsy D, Claire M, Laura L, Chad L, Rochelle, Nathan E, Marion, Meg K, Janelle P, Trav L, Dan N, Lorraine G, Carrie H, Veronica K, Big Stevie W, Kendall T, Angel M, Rhiannon C, Corey K, Super
Sam.
Nice, Coleman
Coolers.
G, Dev Nexon, Michelle A, Liz I. Is it just
Hi. Was
I?
Yeah.
Are you sure it's an I? Yeah, it's got to be.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't think they're doing
I think it's
lowercase. Is there
Lizelle.
music playing?
Yeah, the whole time. I don't think you'd hear that
You
though on the
can't hear it.
podcast, right? Jeremy C, Andy T, Cody R, Sebastian K, Gavinator, Ann H, David C, Elliot M, John B, Brandy D, Yavor, Camille S, Bano, The C, Joey M, Willie F, Christina E, Adelaide N, Jeffrey M, Bridget A, Omar. What's up, Omar? I think that's an L. Lena N, and Design OTG. Here, look at this. Right here, look. I'm telling you that's an L because if you look at Michelle, there's an L.
Well, it would be a capital L.
But it wouldn't. You think it would be?
Why would? 'Cause the rest of the letters are capital.
So that's Omar I then. That's all I have to say about that.
Please let them know.
Thank you so much for tuning in, week out. It makes me feel real good. Whether you love the guest, whether you don't know the guest, stay tuned. You'll learn something. I sure as hell do. From the Hollywood Hills in California, I'm Michael Rosenbaum.
I'm Ryan Tayez.
And we love you. Little wave to the camera. And thank you all for allowing me to be inside of you and have a glorious week. Be good to yourselves, all right? You gotta be good to yourselves. All right, we'll talk to you.